in the chambers. But with that said, thank you again, Allison. We're going to move to Andrew Toredo, felons replacing veterans to fight in Afghanistan. Andrew, you're right.
Toronto is not able to join us today.
Okay. We've already heard from Mike Trepper, right? So
That is correct. That was a duplicate.
Okay. Sandra Fatmi of United Foundation of Central Florida, you're recognized. Hey, Sandra.
Thank you so much. Pleasant good afternoon, Chair, Senator Bracy, and Orange County Legislative Delegation. Thank you for your service. My name is Sandra Fatmi Hall, and I'm the Executive Director and founder of the United Foundation of Central Florida. United Foundation is a 501c3 surrounding communities utilizing our holistic approach. Our mission is to partner and unite with local, community, and neighborhood organizations to positively transform families and individuals utilizing early intervention and educational resources. Please allow me to share what we have achieved with community support through our 3 core programs. Our first program is the Future Leaders United After School Enrichment and Mentoring Program, currently in Evans High School and slated for 6 additional schools this year. In 7 years, all 119 students that enrolled graduated. 114 have been sent on to higher education. 2 are currently in vocational schools and 3 enlisted in the military. Based on all the 6 vocational schools and based on all the 6 programs and the 550 lives that we have touched in the school, representing 22% of the school's population, we're proud to share that the school's graduation rate, that was 50% 10 years ago, today is a whopping 97.6%. Program number 2 is our Educational Scholarship Program that has awarded $111,250 in scholarships and additional $15,000 to help our alumni remain in school. Program number 3 addresses our food insecurities. We started Family and Friends Day in 2015, where we blessed the community with food and we never stopped. And I've partnered with Senator Bracy in 2018 and 2019. And in 2020, starting in July, the community partnered with the United Foundation of Central Florida to bless 69,333 plus families with over 1,040,000 meals. Our community engagement through our young people and adults have provided over 20,532 volunteer hours, the equivalent of $2,053,165. Our return on investment is 7 to 1. Last but not least, the Orange County Sheriff's Office awarded us with our very first grant of $10,000 in February. This helped us to acquire the United Foundation of Central Florida's Solution Center in the heart of Pine Hills, zip codes mostly 32808 and 32818, to name a few. This center will have mental health classes, classes with Orange County Sheriff's Office, SAT, ACT, hands-on training, and so much more wraparound services. My ask is very simple this afternoon. Please consider us in your budget this legislative session. We have never received any funding, and as a grassroots organization, look at what we've accomplished with very little. But look at the impact. Crime is down in all areas and of Pine Hills, and we would like to keep our center open to help keep our young people, jobs, and so much more vibrant and active in the Pine Hills area. I hope that I can count on your support this year as champions to see the United Foundation of Central Florida funded as we aim to continue to be the change that we want to see. Just think about this for a minute. How do you put a price on 13 students having shared with me that because of our program, they no longer want to commit suicide? Thank you for all you do. And please remember, Sandra Fatmi Hall, United Foundation of Central Florida.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for the work that you do. I will look forward to sponsoring that appropriation again, and hopefully one of the House members will do the same. Just thank you for the work that you're doing in the community.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Welcome. So we're going to move on to Rahi Buchin, president of FusionFest.org. Sorry if I mispronounced that. You're recognized.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tedohe Kalani Bushan. I am the president of Fusion Fest, and we are a nonprofit organization here in Central Florida. I'm also the president of the Ma'ohi Cultural Organization, and we're currently applying for our nonprofit. So I'm speaking in favor of continued and exponential funding for the arts and cultures. I'm Hawaiian Tahitian Chinese Cherokee, and my husband is Puerto Rican with Spaniard and African roots. Both of our families migrated here to Central Florida for work opportunities, mine in cultural entertainment and his in arts and creativity. And we've been able to work in these fields and share our culture through entertainment and through our art. And we're fortunate to have raised our daughters here with those same opportunities. I've been working with City of Orlando and Orange County since I was 15 years old through many different arts and cultures programs, such as Orlando Fights Back, which was designed to fortify and strengthen communities that represent diversity and inclusion. And today I speak on behalf of many ethnic minority communities and specifically smaller communities that do not have official representation in our local government and legislation. And I'm here to share with you how the arts and culture programs are key to reaching these tight-knit communities in the language of their homes, villages, and tribes. And it's to help them capitalize opportunities for economic growth, like Vicki mentioned, job opportunities. My family, was employed here as cultural entertainers, and also to give them access to resources and networking outside of their comfort zones. It's easy for many of these communities to operate business in their specific neighborhood, never reaching their full potential of growth. And when we have programs such as Fusion Fest with Divertastic Dining, we bring new audiences to small community businesses. And our festivals provide a stage for art, music, dance, and fellowship. We endeavor to develop these educational programs with Orange County school system, and we found that our efforts are creating a new social space for communities. Specifically in mine, we're connecting elders with our youth, and we see that they're able to pass down the traditions of our culture, and thus it helps to keep that preservation going, which is very vital to the Polynesian community here in Central Florida because it's so easily overlooked by theme parks and mainstream media with their inappropriation of representation for our culture. On another level, we're able to reach children whose parents are not as involved with Central Florida community because maybe fear of differences, language barriers, and etc. This generation also and often serves as interpreters for their parents and their neighbors. And they learn that their unique voice is important and that it's okay and it's safe to share their culture and learn about others, why certain kids may dress a certain way, why does their lunch look like that, why does it smell like that, why do they dance like that? These are things that we feel by bringing this to the forefront, we break down the walls of misunderstanding and they're no longer fragmented, segmented, and isolated. And we want them to know that we hear them, we see them, and we acknowledge them through the arts and culture program. So I just want to thank you all for the funds that we have received to your stewardship in ensuring the arts will continue here in Central Florida.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Chair Bracy, real quick. Sorry. I just want to say thank you for sharing this information. And I'm actually really looking forward to the Divertastic dining experience that you're going to have at the Ahi Ceviche Bar in Castleberry. That is going to be on September 8th at 7 p.m. I'm buying tickets because I'm Peruvian. And so, shameless plug, I'm going to be participating in the Peruvian Divertastic dining experience. So thank you to Fusion Fest for hosting that and to Ahi Ceviche Bar as well.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Carlos Barrios from Baker Barrios Architects, you recognize.
Good afternoon. I'm here asking for continued support of the state funding of grants through the Division of Arts and Culture. I'm a founding partner of the architectural firm Baker Barrios Architects, headquartered in Orlando with offices in Tampa and Nashville. I'm a past member of the Orlando Repertory Theater, the Orlando Science Center, current board of United Arts and Central Florida Community Arts. State support of arts and cultural grants has a direct impact on the success of the Florida 2030 plan. A robust arts and cultural sector helps Florida become globally competitive by allowing us the opportunity to attract and hire the best and brightest talent available. This includes architects, engineers, researchers, scientists, educators, computer programmers, the list goes on. By hiring the best and brightest, we can help push our innovation and economic development to new heights. Those best and brightest are seeking a place to live that provides them with a high quality of life. And that specifically includes a rich, vibrant, and diversified arts and cultural offerings. By hiring the best and brightest, we increase average wages in the area while creating new opportunities immediately, as well as bringing here the business leaders of tomorrow. As an example, one of the challenges my firm faces is the recruitment and hiring of young architects and other allied professionals. While we can promote our great weather and good economic environment, we still face a tougher sell when it comes to selling them on cultural aspects of our state. Things are good, but much more work and funding is needed to sustain and improve our arts and cultural offerings. Please help us address this area. Robust fundings of those grants will benefit all Floridians and specifically help the state of Florida continue to make great gains in its business competitiveness. Thank you for your time.
Did we lose the senator?
Sorry, I'm sorry. My apologies. Thank you, Carlos, and appreciate your work at your firm. Jennifer Evans, United Arts of Central Florida, you recognize.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and honorable representatives. I'm Jennifer Evans. I'm the new president and CEO of the United Arts of Central Florida. I'm a resident at East Church Street in downtown Orlando. We are your local agency for Orange County, and our mission is to enhance our communities by investing in arts, science, and history. I moved on June 11 from South Carolina and to live here and to work here, and I've fallen in love with Central Florida and my new job. And I want to thank you for working every day to make this a great place and to be a servant leader. As part of my onboarding in the last 60 days, I've met with over 245 stakeholders, and every single one of them have emphasized how important the arts are to our local economy, to education, to tourism, and the quality of life. Many business leaders, you just heard from Carlos, have pointed out that a vibrant and diverse local arts scene is good for business, but it's more critical to their talent recruitment and quality of life for their employees. We all know that the arts are a valuable aspect of our quality of life and entertainment in Florida, but I know that you know that the arts are so much more. As I learn and become more familiar with my new home state, I want to help you champion the arts in Tallahassee to align the arts with a larger statewide vision and the goals of the Florida 2030, which we've talked about already as arts leaders today. Those are global competitiveness, prosperity and higher paying jobs, and a vibrant and resilient community. From listening today, I know that you believe that arts and creativity are vital and can be an important catalyst in helping to achieve these goals. Creativity is critical to ensuring our state's success in innovation and economic development, in talent retention and recruitment, educating the future workforce to be strategic thinkers and creative problem solvers. Creativity is utilized in industries around the globe. And for Florida to be competitively around the globe, we must show the world that we are serious investors in the arts and that developing creative minds to fill future jobs in innovation and science is a real priority. I'm here today to ask you to continue to make the arts a priority in the state funding, not just for our needs, but for our state's success.
Thank you.
Specifically, I'm asking you to please support the Florida Division of Arts and Culture's grants program. Your vote in support of arts funding could bring back $5 million or more back to our local economy, and that will have the greatest impact for good.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jennifer Evans. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to move on to Zach Alson. There aren't any comments. Thank you. From the Milk District, Zach, you're recognized.
Good afternoon, Senator Bracey and delegation. I am Zach Elson. I'm Executive Director of the Milk District Main Street. I'm here today representing all 11 of Orlando's Main Street programs. And we're separate from, but we work side by side with programs of Florida Main Street, who do the same work in about 50 communities across the state. Based on a philosophy of historic preservation and economic development, Main Streets like the Milk District help boost independent businesses throughout the state through promotional events, marketing, technical assistance, and resource sharing for those businesses. Last session, you all passed a bill that made it possible for restaurants in small historic buildings in the Milk District and other Orlando Main Streets to add liquor service through modified eligibility for SRX licenses. Thank you for your work on that, and we already have restaurants working to obtain those licenses. People will soon be able to add a cocktail to their meal, adding vital revenue stream for these small independent businesses. I'm also adding my voice to everyone, and thanks for your funding of the Division of Arts and Culture grants this past year, and to encourage the continued and increased investment in these programs. Now, the Milk District doesn't see any of this funding. We're not eligible for it, but it is vital to organizations large and small that make our community a great place to live. Organizations receiving these grants serve as destination catalysts for business districts like mine throughout the state. Here's an example. The Orlando Philharmonic is based at the Plaza Live, a historically contributing structure here in the Milk District. In addition to their concerts at major venues, they have a chamber music series and a family concert series, both based at the Plaza. And for the second year, they'll be presenting their holiday concerts outdoors at Festival Park, which is also in the district. The Plaza Live can fit just shy of 1,000 people, and the Philharmonic's events are often at or near capacity. As audiences and artists come and go from rehearsals and concerts, they visit neighborhood restaurants and bars, retail stores, and our businesses can tell when there is a cultural event happening. The economic impact of these funded programs continues far beyond the doors of the venue. I love the Philharmonic, and I wish I could tell you that this was unique to that organization, but it isn't. This type of economic activity is repeated time and again at just about each of the 626 cultural organizations funded by these grants in small towns, historic commercial districts, and big cities around the state. Thank you for that funding. We look forward to more this year, and I wish you a productive session. And I look forward to working with you to make our neighborhoods better places to live, work, and do business.
Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. Comments, anyone? Okay. I'm gonna ask Sherry Gonzalez to come, but Michelle, if I can, I'd like to move around a little bit. If I can have Jasmine Barnes to come after Sherry. He's number 83. We can cue him.
Whatever is your pleasure.
Okay, thank you. So right now, Children's Home Society of Florida, and then we'll have Jasmine Barnes from FRRC next. Go ahead, Sherry.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Chair Bracey and members of the delegation. My name is Sherry Gonzalez, and I am the Executive Director for Children's Home Society of Florida in the Central Florida region. And so we cover Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, serving children and families. Thank you all for your unwavering leadership and support for our children in Central Florida. We appreciate the Orange County Delegation's continued funding for the Community Partnership School model. Today, there are 26 community partnership schools in Florida, including 4 right here in Orange County: Evans High School, OCPS ACE, Academic Center for Excellence, Jones High School, and Eccleston Elementary. We know that all of these schools have become more than just a place to learn. They now serve as resources for our students. their parents, and the communities with opportunities for expanded learning and addressing the need to access mental health services, which we know everyone is so desperate in need of right now, especially during the pandemic. So we're requesting additional funds this session to expand this proven model to positively impact more students in Florida, and we ask for your continued support in doing this. Children's Home Society is also working to help thousands of children in the Florida's foster care system find safety and stability so they too can focus on their education and their future. The 2021 session was a big year for child welfare reform, and we appreciate many of the policy changes to improve the outcomes for our children. However, more changes are needed. Our children need and deserve a stable workforce. Every time we turn over one case manager, a child stays in foster care 4.5 months longer. And we know we need to do better than that because that's just not right for children. So as a leader in serving children and families involved in the foster care system, Children's Home Society is requesting legislative action to further align Florida's child welfare, ensure funds appropriated by the legislator make it to the frontline staff. So thank you for your time and your dedication to serve our state and for taking care of the children and families that we serve in Central Florida and across the state of Florida. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate it. Any comments, questions? Okay. We're going to move to Jasmine Barnes, FRC. You are recognized, Jasmine.
Thank you, Chair. I do appreciate very much the opportunity to speak to hometown heroes, friends and family and colleagues that we recognize here in Central Florida. It's good to see the mother and teacher of Central Florida, Representative Thompson. It is good to see our good friend Anna Escamani. Hey, Rep Smith, good to see you, brother, one more time. And of course, to the people's champion, Senator Bracey, thank you so much for the work that you continue to do, and Representative McCurdy as well. Daisy, congratulations to you on your election as well. Wow, where do I begin? To you, the honorable members of the delegation, I personally extend my thanks to each of you for allowing me the opportunity to address this esteemed delegation of public servants committed to serving the people of Florida. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jasmine Barnes. I'm a policy and legislative assistant with the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. I'm also the congregational organizer for Faith in Florida for Central Florida. You know, formerly incarcerated people and those with former felony convictions are nearly 10 times more likely to experience homelessness than the general public. In addition to challenges, including lack of availability and affordability in housing, people with past criminal records experience legislated discrimination. This body of leaders has an immediate opportunity to reduce housing discrimination against returning citizens. Take this, for instance. Stable housing is the foundation of successful reentry from prison. Before returning citizens can contribute to their communities, such as through getting a stable job and providing for their families, they need a place to live. Lack of stable housing means that returning citizens and their families are more dependent on public assistance and services. Without the ability to gain access to housing on their own, formerly incarcerated individuals have to rely on homeless shelters, and they have to rely on other resources coming from the city and the state level. Barriers for returning citizens affect their families most of all. Many families are kept apart following a person's release from prison because many public housing authorities and municipalities have policies in place to evict residents if family members with a history of conviction are present or living in the home. So policies at the local and state levels can increase access to housing for returning citizens themselves. As this delegation works to enact change on behalf of communities in Orange County, we urge you specifically to advance legislation that reduces barriers to housing for people with past convictions and their families. It is so very important that we focus on reducing leasing liabilities. That will help address one of the barriers to the housing for returning citizens, and many other barriers as well. But that is an ultimate and awesome solution. We encourage the delegation to connect and partner with the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition to ensure that Orange County families have access to stable housing, as 1 in 3 Americans has a criminal record and 1 in 2 children has a parent with a record. This is an issue that affects us all. We are asking you to draft, support, advocate, and pass legislation that would remove the barriers for housing and access to housing for returning citizens right here in the state of Florida. You, our representatives, can single-handedly push the lives of returning citizens forward. After all, returning citizens just want to be treated like everyone else, to have the ability to secure housing for their families and the stability to contribute to their communities. That would look a lot like restoration. And at the end of the day, we simply want returning citizens to be freely accepted, fully restored, and finally redeemed. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Jasmine Barnes. Any comments or questions from the delegation?
Jasmine, Representative McCurdy here. I've met with FRRC, and in case everyone doesn't know, FRRC was birthed in House District 46, so I'm very proud of that. This was the group that was behind the Amendment 4 initiative, which the legislature kind of did away with this original intent. So Jasmine, you know you have a champion in me. Thanks for your eloquent advocacy.
Thank you, Rep. We appreciate you, and thank you for being a champion for the people.
And Chair Bracey, if I could also add, I had a good meeting recently with local advocates for FRRC. I'm curious if maybe the team at FRRC, maybe there's a legislative team, if they could share with members of the delegation proposed state language on how to, obviously address the issue of housing discrimination for our returning citizens. I'm interested in being a champion or continue to be a champion for these issues in the state, but I'd like to see like what proposed language there is, if any, on how we can make adjustments to our state housing laws that would obviously address the issue. So thank you.
Absolutely, Rep. You've got my number, sir. I'm the policy and legislative assistant on that team, the awesome policy department here at FRRC, and I will get on top of that immediately, making sure that you and other members of the delegation have what you need.
Thank you, Jasmine. Let me echo the comments made by my colleagues. Very eloquent advocacy on your part. I will say that I have proposed legislation to citizens to be able to get housing, an apartment. And I will say that the Apartment Association came out forcefully against that legislation. So I will say that there are barriers and forces out there that push back against returning citizens being able to find adequate housing. And ultimately that legislation died because of the advocacy of the Apartment Association. And I don't mean to demean them or to talk badly about them, because they do represent apartment owners and such. And I understand their needs and concerns, but returning citizens have needs. And what you said is true, that it drastically cuts down on their recidivism if they have adequate housing. And so that's something I'll continue to push for. And I just wanted to speak to that because that was a fight that I had early in my legislative career. And I'd be happy to share that legislation with you, Rep. Smith, or whoever would like to look at it. But thank you again, Jasmine, so eloquent. We're gonna move on to the next speaker, Florence Alexander, President of Orlando International Film Festival. You're recognized. Florence Alexander, are you there? Orlando International Film Festival. Okay, we'll maybe come back. Scott Evans from the Orange County Public Schools Visual and Performing Arts.
Senator Bracey, if Florence is just muted. She was speaking, but she's.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Florence, unmute yourself.
Am I unmuted now?
You are. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Yes. I want to congratulate you, Senator Bracy, for your new position as the chair and helping us with the arts in Central Florida. As president of the Orlando International Film Festival, I am very proud to bring to Orlando the Special Olympics through a video that our film festival will be doing for the entire state and actually for the entire world. We have been chosen to do a public relations video for the Special Olympics. As you know, they'll be here in Orlando, June of 22. And in order to do a public relations campaign, the Lions Club has selected our club, which has now become a Lions Club, to do your video. So in addition to bringing you international films, we'll be bringing you the Special Olympics, where we have a crossover between arts and sports of our special needs citizens. The Orlando International Film Festival started 3 years ago in Orlando, and we're proud to say that we are bringing international films to make our youth that we serve on a regular basis more conversant with arts and cultures worldwide. In our youth program, we have a mentoring program that we teach art, drawing, dancing, theater, and film production. We're very proud to say that we bring over 200 international and domestic films to the state of Florida as we do our film festivals. And doing that, we also train our youth to become filmmakers. We want to give them a larger view of what they see in their community. We want to introduce them to international cultures and them participate in our film festivals, but we do mentoring and we do training during our after school program that the Orlando International Film Festival hosts. And we do it on a monthly basis. Now, I heard one of the representatives talk about the network and preventing juvenile delinquency. It's very important with our after school programs that we give our children a way to enlarge their lifestyle and enlarge their vision of the world. And I am also happy to say, since our International Film Festival brings different visitors from all over the world, we're one of 48,000 Lions Club in the world. And the Lions Club has 1.4 million members. Everything we do in the Orlando International Film Festival is advertised to these 1.4 million members, and they come to Orlando. So you get a return on investment when you invest in the Orlando International Film Festival. Not only that it improves our children, and as we all know, our youth are our future, but we also bring more dollars and more tourism to this area. So I thank you very much for the support you have given the Orlando International Film Festival in the past, and I support your fully funding the arts and culture funds that are in your budget this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alexander. I believe I had the chance to be on a panel with Darlene Jones with Orlando International Film Festival. I really enjoyed that time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Scott Evans from Orange County Public Schools, you're recognized.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity. And thank you also for your continued support for making funding for the arts a priority. Orange County Public Schools is proud to be part of the arts ecosystem that provides creative opportunities to Orange County residents of all ages. As a result of a district-wide commitment to arts learning for all students and strategic partnerships with local arts organizations and businesses, the arts in OCPS are thriving. Our students benefit from instruction by over 800 certified arts educators in art forms such as dance, music, theater, and visual arts. Out of the state's 5 largest urban school districts, OCPS leads the way in visual and performing arts education, boasting the highest percentage of students enrolled in the arts. and maintains the best record for equitable enrollment across all socioeconomic levels and race subgroups. Once again, Orange County Public Schools was named one of the best communities for music education in the country by the National Association for Music Merchants. OCPS is committed to quality arts learning access for all of our students and recognizes that this is best accomplished by partnering with our local arts community. Even during the pandemic, OCPS students benefited from the strong partnerships with our arts and culture community that resulted in 45,000 third, fourth, and fifth graders seeing a virtual performance designed specifically for students by the Orlando Philharmonic. The Orlando Ballet provided a virtual experience of the Nutcracker Ballet for an additional 15,000 second graders. The Orlando Shakespeare presented a virtual production of the Showtime with Shakespeare, a Magic Treehouse experience to over 15,000 students, while the Orlando Repertory Theater helped our 8th grade students do a deep dive into the voting process last November with a show titled Vote. Our visual arts students enjoyed incredible learning opportunities through the Orlando Museum of Art, Opera Orlando, Manello Museum of American Art, Morse Museum of Art, and the newly named Rollins Museum of Art. As a result of similar collaborations also with United Arts of Central Florida, Orlando Science Center, Garden Theater, Central Florida Community Arts, Crealdi School, Micheli Puppets, and the Holocaust Museum, and the Orlando Fringe,